Another great crop. Oh, yeah! What an awesome fish. This week on John Thelen's Destination Fish, we get after a hot pre-storm crappie bite that's fast and furious to say the least. John Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by Lindy Fishing Tackle, Striker, and L&M Fleet Supply. I just could not resist going fishing today. Figured I got here in plenty of time, but you know what? There are a lot of fish on the screen right now while I'm setting up here. We're gonna do some crappie fishing today, but here's what's really cool about what we're gonna do today. There is a big winter storm coming. When I say big, they're talking the biggest of the year so far. When you look at this Christmas time period, Christmas, New Year's, you a lot of times get that first big storm, and I just could not resist. Because you know, if you could pick a time to be on the ice or on the water, I don't think there is a better time available than right before a storm. Ooh, this one's coming hot. We're gonna get this fish, whatever he is. There he is, got him. That's a good way to start. I mean, getting out, getting the holes drilled, dropping down. It just goes to show you, great fish. Exactly what we're here for. But before a storm, man, I'll tell you, these fish, they'll get going early, they feel it coming. But here's what's going on. We're gonna get the first big winter storm of the year this evening. They're claiming it's gonna come in around 8 o'clock. Crappies notoriously just go crazy before storms. We're 6.5, 7 hours in front of what they say is coming. Here they come again. We're gonna get another one this quick. Look at this, there he is. They are just hammering. That is just awesome. But here's what's going on. These fish, they feel it coming. And there is no doubt in their mind that they're going to eat before another good crop. Look at this one. Look at that. Another awesome fish. This is cool. This is so cool. And they are just attacking. And what's going to happen is they're just going to sit and do this because they feel it coming. I mean, I've got crappies on the screen, 6 feet off the bottom down there. I mean, there's just piles of them. And what they're doing is they're all looking for a meal, because they feel it. That high pressure is changing. All of a sudden, we're gonna drop. Everything's gonna change. Barometer's gonna move, and the fish are gonna go nuts. That was as close to a double with one line as you're ever gonna get. There's another one coming up right now. There, ooh, I missed him. That time I missed him. Holy smokes. You know, that was almost a little bit unfair because I almost wonder if he ever even had it or if I just anticipated it. There he is, got him that time. We're not going to be here long. This is just going nuts. Now, one thing I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep every fish I catch today. I'm pulling these fish out of pretty deep water, okay? So even that guy right there who might be on the smaller side of what I'm going to catch, and you know, who knows, maybe we'll bump into one on the bigger side too, but we're going to keep these fish because if you let them go, I mean, when I drop them in the bucket, they're not even flopping around. We're just sucking their air sac right out of them coming up. So just keep that in mind too. Anytime you're fishing more than 25 feet of water, a lot of times it's pretty hard to let these fish go. So picking through them to get the best meal that you think you can find sometimes can be pretty detrimental. So what I try to do when I'm fishing this deep water is I just say, okay, if the limit's 10, I'm gonna keep the first 10 today. There he is, got him. It's just crazy. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy how fast this happens. And you know what? I'll tell you right now, this is happening on a lot of bodies of water. It's everywhere where these fish can feel this storm coming. Anywhere there's crappies right now, they're going bonkers because they can feel it. I mean, it is just one after another. The way these fish are biting is just crazy. But I want to show you what I'm using. Now, here's the thing. I'm fishing pretty deep water. The sonar unit says 33.6, add 1.5 feet for what I've got the transducer drop down, so I'm fishing 35 feet of water. I want these fish to be able to find my bait. There's not a lot of sunlight today. We finally got some snow on the ice. Now they're living in a much darker environment than they were just a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So this is when I switch over to the glow spoon. This is the Lindy glow spoon. This thing is really cool. 16th ounce, and here's the thing. You put a light stick in the back of it. If you're fishing low light periods, if you're fishing a scenario like I'm in right now where the cloud cover's what it is and you got snow on the ice, you crack that light stick, put it in the back, and it illuminates the whole front face of that lure because it's actually made out of plastic like a crankbait, and then it's got some tungsten beads down in the bottom. It gives you a rattle and it gives you the weight to get down. That whole spoon's illuminated and they can't miss it down there. John Thelen's Destination Fish is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Fish is going to meet me halfway. Let's just stop. There he is, got him. Sometimes when you're dropping down, you see a fish start coming up at you. Best thing you can do is stop the bait above them and keep them coming. Because when a crappie starts moving, very seldom will they stop. The one time you won't get bit by them a lot of times is if you keep going down to where they're at, because then you make it too easy for them. They'll just hit the brakes right there and then they'll just stare at it. So what I try to do is stop up above them and keep them moving, keep them coming toward you. Punch fish on it. Yep, there he is, got him. You could just tell we were gonna get that fish. Hey, let's talk a little bit about location I'm fishing and why I'm fishing this. I'm fishing the edge of a hole. And this is one of the deepest areas on this lake, but there's a little bit of a trick to what I'm doing here today. The one thing I'll tell you about the edge I'm fishing is there's an area right over here that has a really, really steep drop. And what you'll find a lot of times, especially with crappies and walleyes too for that matter, is they'll cruise that steep ledge, but they'll feed where they can find a little area that flattens out a little bit for them. I like to call them like mini flats, where all of a sudden those contour lines on that Lake Master map are a little bit further apart. That's gonna be an area where they're gonna be comfortable staying and feeding versus just passing through. There he is, got him that time. Ooh, that one feels like a little bit better fish. You'll notice I'm using a fairly stiff rod here. I'm actually using my tuned up custom 32-inch precision. I would normally use this for walleye fishing, but when I'm spoon fishing for crappies, this thing has such a nice tip. Oh, look at that, yep. That's what I thought, good one. Has such a nice sensitive tip, and what it allows me to do is make sure that I feel everything. Another thing I want to show you, this is really cool. This is called a toothpick, and what's so neat about this is when you're dealing with smaller hooks, that thing can just slide right into a panfish's mouth. You get that hook right in that slot and you just turn it and it'll pop right out of there. It's made by Cold Snap Outdoors. You can find that at coldsnapoutdoors.com, and man, I'll tell you what, it's a really, really, really cool product. I've been using them for a lot of years. Got him. Feels like a pretty good one. That was just a question of time. You know, sometimes you miss fish, take it away from them. Just keep watching though and see how they react. And that hummingbird, I'm able to run that on 2D and flasher mode at the same time. So what I'm able to do is actually watch the mood of the fish. I went from watching that flasher over to watching the 2D side, and that fish right there kept reacting and I could see his actual movement. It's always nice to have that 2D side to show you that active fish and exactly what he's doing. These Helix units, this is the Helix 7 that I'm using. There is not a better ice unit on the market right now. That 30-foot mark or so, that seems to be the ceiling of where I've been stopping to get the majority of them to bite. And remember with crappies, always stay above them. There's one right there, got him. Because if you can get them to be on the move back up, that's what I call an ambush point. You're getting them to come up and you're gonna be able to ambush them. Nice crappie, biggest one of the day. Wow, look at that fish. That's a giant. How cool is that? That's a glow spoon crappie. And man, that's a pre-storm crappie. What a day. What an hour. I mean, I don't even know if it's been an hour. I mean, it's happening that fast. It's just one after another. Pop that out of there with that toothpick and throw him in the pail, and man, let's get out of here before the storm hits. Man, what a great day that was on the ice. I'll tell you, those fish were just snapping before that storm came in. Hey, I'm over at the Striker headquarters today, and Jennifer Jacobson and I were talking earlier today about the women that are getting involved in ice fishing and the growth, and I was telling her, I see it on the ice too. It's everywhere I go. There's more and more women and families getting involved in ice fishing, and you guys have done a heck of a job of catering to that segment of the industry.
You're right, John. There are so many more women in the marketplace right now, and They want to fish just like the guys, so we've built suits with all of the features that the men's have in our women's Stella suit.
We're going to take a minute and tell you a little bit about that Stella suit, because I'll tell you what, it is the best women's suit on the ice.
We designed the Stella suit specifically for female anglers, incorporating Primaloft silver insulation, keeping the suit lightweight and breathable. The Stella also has heat map technology infused into the liner in both the jackets and the bibs. You'll stay warm in the Stella suit no matter what the conditions throw at you. Hypora waterproofing will keep you dry, while the 150 grams of SureFloat technology will keep you safe. The Striker Stella suit is loaded with fishing features, including line cutter zipper pull, double hemostat attachment points on the pockets, magnetic storm front closures, ample pockets, and it's available in various color options, including the veil strike pattern exclusive to Striker. The Stella suit makes spending the day on the ice more comfortable and enjoyable.
There is no doubt that the Stella suit is the most thought-through women's suit on the market today. Hey, stay right where you're at. We're going to be right back with another great ice fishing adventure on John Thelen's Destination Fish. John Thelen's Destination Fish has been brought to you by these great sponsors.